Well, Dr. Dineo, thank you so much for being here with us today. And we're looking forward to hearing everything that you have to share with us. And guys, I'm going to let Dr. Dineo introduce herself with regards to her credentials and her passion and heart for health and wellness. So take it away. Let us know who you are.
Wow. So my name is Dineo Chitambo. And I'm a medical doctor by profession, as hopefully most of you know. But I'm such a wellness enthusiast and advocate. And for that reason, I'm actually a budding health coach. And I've also attained a diploma in child health. I really aspire to be a public health medicine specialist one day.
Brilliant.
And today I'm really, really excited to share my heart and passion for nutrition, because I think for me, this is one of those connecting the dots moment for me. Yeah. As I look back at how I first fell in love with nutrition through my own weight loss journey. And I think through how it transformed my own life, I just want to share that life-giving gift with everyone today and really allow everyone to realize that amazing gift of good food and nutrition that's been given to us and how they can use it for themselves.
That's so good. That's so good. And obviously being a medical doctor, you are on the front lines with regards to health, and people are coming to you with different diseases and you're researching a lot of things. What is the state of our nation at the moment with regards to disease and challenges that are directly related to nutrition?
Should I start with the good or the bad?
Take us away with the good, and then you can take us into where we need to change.
Okay, I'll start with the good. There are some good things. I think one of the worst yet best things that could have happened to us was COVID-19, the global pandemic. Because it seems that after the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of people actually realized the need to prioritize our wellness, the need to prioritize our health. And a lot of people were dying from weight-related issues. So COVID-19 was actually found in a lot of people who were overweight, obese, you know. So it seems that a lot of people since then have changed towards healthier eating habits, have now started researching more about healthy eating patterns and foods. And also, it seems that people are now using nutrition labels more often, even though there's still a lack of understanding. More people are drawn towards that, and that people who now follow like healthy lifestyles in terms of exercise are also more drawn to healthier eating patterns. So those are the good things, and we are winning a little bit in terms of like addressing low birth weight in our country and other nutrition issues.
Which is good. That's the good stuff.
That's the good.
We got the wake-up call through 2019, 2020.
We got a wake-up call,
21,
you know, which is the good side of things. The bad side of things is that the figures are not looking good. Unfortunately, South Africa is actually one of the leading countries in sub-Saharan Africa in terms of the obesity and overweight statistics. So currently, since about 1975, there's been a triple in number of the statistics. So currently, 68% of women and 31% of men are obese and overweight. Even children, the number of children that are now obese and overweight has increased to 13.3%, which is actually more than the glable average. That's scary.
That is very scary. And that's here in South Africa.
And that's here in South Africa. Now, another interesting thing about South Africa as a developing country is we are going through what we call the nutrition transition. So that means we're moving away from our normally cultural lifestyles and we're moving towards a westernized lifestyle. Which is not so great because we're now eating high-dense, high-fat foods, which are not so healthy for us, but we're not supplementing that with extra activity, you know, to kind of compensate for that.
And those are the foods we kind of find that are convenience foods.
Those are the foods.
And we're under pressure time-wise. Of course. So that's why we're leaning into that.
We're now finding a dual burden of disease in the same household, you can literally have a malnourished child
Okay.
and you can have an obese child.
Wow.
Whereas previously, malnourished children were our main concern, that children are not getting enough nutrients, enough food. It's now a dual burden,
Wow.
which is pretty scary, considering that obesity is actually one of the main risk factors
Right.
for heart diseases, strokes, cancers, hypertension, diabetes. And these are diseases that are actually causing about 40% of deaths worldwide.
Wow. That's
40%
huge.
of deaths are lifestyle-related
It
diseases.
can be avoided.
Can be avoided.
Wow.
Can be prevented. Now, the other thing is that it's not just about these diseases, right? But it's also about how this weight on mothers actually affects their health and the children's health.
Okay.
So mothers who are overweight and obese can actually suffer from miscarriages,
Okay.
infertility.
Sure.
They can give birth to congenitally abnormal babies.
Wow.
And they are actually more prone to things like having hypertension and eclampsia in pregnancy, which can result in very unpleasant complications.
Wow.
And even after pregnancy, they are more prone to more complications. So it's just this vicious cycle. And as we can see already, the stats are showing women are more obese than men.
Sure. And it's amazing around that childbearing age
Yeah.
is quite significant.
Yeah, very significant.
And then you also have the whole using food to cope emotionally with the burdens and the strains
Absolutely.
of being working moms and
Absolutely. Time is an issue.
Right.
Convenience is a factor. Cost is a factor. I mean,
Right.
the average food basket is sitting at 4,000 something at the moment.
Right.
Whereas minimum wage per month is like 3,500.
Sure, sure.
So marketing, environment, all those things are factors that play into how we make decisions
Wow.
to our food. Yeah.
That is a lot. That's a lot to process and think about. And I mean, when you say obesity, I mean, that sounds like quite a dramatic word.
Yeah.
But actually, a lot of us are living with obesity and we don't even know it.
Absolutely. I don't think half of us know our BMI.
Right.
And it's found that actually in South Africa, globally again, we're leading in terms of an excessively high BMI, more than the
Right.
average.
Wow. So
Yeah.
we need to go and get that checked out.
We need to go and get that checked
and not
out.
be scared of these terms, but to be like just knowing where we're at so we can do
you
something
know
about
your health
it.
status? It's literally a matter of knowing your health status.
Right.
What is your health status at the moment?
Yeah, that's so good. Okay, so and what's encouraging is that a lot this is diet related, so we can really
is
address it and we
preventable.
can prevent it, and we can.
Absolutely.
And as the church, we should be leading the way,
Absolutely.
because we are the ones who understand stewardship and understand that we've got to take
Absolutely.
care of God's temple and
Yeah.
and pave the way for other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. I think if we're to do what we're called to do and reach our destinies, we need to be well.
Right.
The kingdom needs to be well. We need to thrive.
Yes.
And I believe that's what God wants for us as well.
Absolutely.
So I think that's really something we, like you said, we need to really steward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get very practical and also to understand the role that the family that we grew up in, how that's affected our patterns and our habits with regards to food and food choices and the way we think about food, and then what we then perpetuate in our households. And let's focus in on the kids in particular, because I think our responsibility is
Yeah.
to steward ourselves, but then to also steward the next generation.
Yeah.
So maybe you can just chat into that a bit.
Sure. So, I mean, family and background definitely have a big part to play. So there is an element of genetic predisposition in all of us, but then that can be altered a lot by our environment and
Right.
what we're exposed to. So again, exposure, super important. Now, so there was a debate between parents and healthcare professionals before, right?
Okay.
So mothers and parents actually believe, it's been found, that children don't know the difference between a healthy and an unhealthy option.
Okay.
Right? And they were saying that their children are genetically predispositioned to make either healthy or unhealthy choices.
Okay.
And healthcare professionals were like, nah, it's the environment
It's
that's
the
playing a
environment.
role, right? So they did a study And what they found in the study is actually both have a role to play.
Right.
But the difference is here. Those who make choices to the more nutrient-dense foods have a more genetic predisposition to that.
Okay.
And those who choose the high-fat, high-starch, snacky foods are more influenced by their environment.
Okay.
But the silver lining here, you can change your genetic predisposition
Right.
through what you expose your child to in the environment.
Right.
So what they found is that if you are modeling, right, yourself, the healthy eating patterns and the healthy food choices, then that gets passed on naturally to your children. And a pediatrician, Dr. Allen, says that parents often think that a child rejecting a food 2 or 3 times actually means that they don't want it.
Yes.
But actually perseverance and persistence will result in them accepting and even taking pleasure
In it.
in that food.
Yeah. And changing their palate. Like you can definitely change your palate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So nature versus nurture, definitely what you expose your children to nurture has a bigger role to play. So it's in our control.
It's in our control.
It's
We
in
can
our
do
control.
something about
We
it.
can definitely do something about it.
Yeah. And our children need it
Yeah.
because the statistics with the children are
Yeah.
not looking so good.
Not looking good. And the numbers have tripled, Trish, over the past 10 years.
Yeah.
You know? And I look back at my own journey when I was a child and just the diseases that children are suffering with that they would otherwise not have to. You
Right.
know, when I was a child, I was an overweight, obese child. And at the time, I didn't realize actually that it was having an impact on my mental health.
Right.
But the minute my life transformed through my own weight loss journey and my passion for healthier food options, is the minute I realized, oh my gosh, I've got an elevated sense of self-esteem. I'm
Yes.
more confident. I'm more alert. I sleep better at night.
Got more energy.
I've got more energy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm more inclined now to make healthier eating. I'm even more inclined to read more
Right.
about nutrition and food and what
Yeah.
it does to our bodies. So
Yeah.
it's such a transformative thing. And if we can give that to our children,
Yeah.
you know.
Because I think you as a child, you actually suffered with pre-diabetes.
Absolutely, yes.
that
Thank you for
correct?
reminding me. So I had asthma
Right?
and I was pre-diabetic,
Oh, wow.
which means I didn't have the disease yet,
Yes.
but I had symptoms that were showing that I could potentially
Sure.
develop diabetes.
And you were a child. You
And
didn't
I was
need
a
that. You
child.
didn't need that. You wanted
And,
to just be
um,
playing and having a good
Yeah,
time.
and imagine, I mean, you know, that's actually how my dad found out that he has diabetes, and that's how we found out it runs in the family. You know?
Right.
But thankfully, I actually stopped the process,
Mm-hmm.
you know, by changing my lifestyle and my
Right.
food habits. And
Okay.
I've never had any symptoms of diabetes since.
Wow. And the asthma?
The asthma is gone.
Wow.
I'm completely on just the controller for
Wow.
compliance purposes.
Right.
But I don't remember the last time I had an attack.
Wow.
And I mean, it's
And
just
that was
incredible.
addressed from childhood.
And that was
it got
addressed
sorted out in childhood.
from childhood, and it's now a lifestyle.
Wow.
It's now a lifestyle.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's so good. Wow. Well, I think we should wrap this with you giving us some insight as to what foods should we eat, what should we avoid, how can we make better choices, how can we be these parents and these adults who are stewarding our health and well-being and then passing on good habits to the next generation.
Trish, look, I think everyone here today knows what they should be doing.
We know what to do, don't we?
I think we all know what we need to do. But it's just hard.
Right.
You know, it's hard, and we don't do what we know we're supposed to do.
Right.
But here are some of the things I can say if you walk away today. Just take one at least and just tell yourself you're going to implement this one.
Right.
Okay? Number one, focus on real food.
Good.
We're talking organic, natural ingredients. And I think we all know what we mean by real food.
If
hey?
it comes from the ground,
If it comes from
It's
the ground,
real.
it's not ready-made, you know.
didn't get made in a factory.
Real food. Our bodies need unprocessed natural ingredients. That's what's best for us. And our body can feel it. You'll
Right.
feel the difference.
Yeah.
Next, we need nutrient-dense unprocessed foods, back to what we've just spoken about. Then don't be afraid of fats. be afraid of the source of fat.
Okay, that's good. Let's talk about that.
Right? So, I mean, I'm going to make a crazy example. Let's just say fat from a piece of cake, for
Right.
example, versus fat from an apple, right? Obviously, can't really compare the two, but
Avo wins hands down.
But the point here is Avo has good fats, right? So you need to know which fats are good fats, which fats are bad fats.
Right.
At the end of the day, your body needs the fats, but our society and culture has created this fat is bad for your body type of thing.
Right.
But we actually need fats in our
So we
bodies
need
to
the good
function.
fats and we need to just stay away from the bad fats.
Absolutely.
Right.
Then be patient and persevere.
That's so good.
So important, Like changing your eating habits is a paradigm shift, that takes time. And you have to be patient with yourself. And it takes a team effort, you know. I often think of like a patient who's just been diagnosed with diabetes at about the age of 56, which commonly happens. And you're telling them, well, this is going to have to be your new diet. And they're just like looking at that list of foods and they're just like,
oh my goodness.
it's hard. It's like changing your life altogether.
Yeah.
So it definitely requires patience, but daily choices.
Yeah.
Daily better decisions. And that's what leads
and
to.
I like what you said about doing it as a collective.
Yeah.
So if you're in a family, address it together. If you live in a commune and you've got other people, do it together.
People.
If you stay on your own, do it with your connect group. So this is what we're going to do. Like as a connect group, we're going to...
You need the accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Next, meal planning. Now, this is so important because we've just said that time is a factor in the food choices that people make. So, I mean, it requires a lot of intentionality and in itself requires time.
Yeah.
But it actually saves you time in the long run.
In the long run.
And it saves you from making poor health decisions in the long run.
Sure.
So it's been shown that meal planning, cooking meals at home is actually associated with better eating habits. So let's focus on that. I think COVID also gave us that picture and we had more time and we saw the importance of doing
it. And you can make that part of your lifestyle. And if you equate it to how long you would wait in the doctor's room to see a doctor, how much money you would spend on medicines to try and combat the different,
They say if you're not making time for your health, you're making time for your disease.
Wow, that's powerful. If you're not making time for your health, you're making time for your disease.
Yeah.
Aish, that's a good one.
Dis-ease, hey? Disease. It puts you at dis-ease.
Yeah, at dis-ease, yeah.
Then don't restrict calories, eat to fuel your body. We tend to go on diets and weight loss regimes and cutting calories, and we starve our bodies of really things that the body needs.
Yeah.
So we need to get into a habit of understanding our bodies, listening to our bodies, eat nutrient-dense foods, and when we're full, stop.
Yeah. I love the concept of eating till you're elegantly satisfied.
Ah, beautiful.
And it's amazing. When we're eating nutrient-dense foods, we generally don't overeat.
Absolutely.
But it's when we're eating processed, very refined products that we can sit and eat a whole bag of chuckles or a whole cake or a whole tub of ice cream or but when we're eating a balanced, nutritious meal, you get to a point where you're elegantly satisfied, and that's good. That's done.
Finish a bag of carrots.
You're not gonna overdose on eating a whole bag of carrots easily. No.
Next, don't skimp on the fruits and vegetables. Speaking of carrots, I think that's one we all know, but we need to be intentional about it. How many fruits or how many things are you taking in that contain fiber? Because that's what we're looking for. The fiber that's going to keep us regular, that's going to keep us less bloated, going to keep our intestines working, and keeping us energized.
And I think with children, this is a big thing because I find that if I tell my children, go and eat an apple or go and you eat some fruit, it doesn't really happen. But if I chop up an apple and I put it in front of them, they'll eat it. Or if I cut up an orange, they'll eat it and they'll enjoy it. So I find in preparing the fruit
creative
for
ways
them.
of preparing it.
And then they tend to
Which is
snack on it.
intentionality.
Yes. Or if I chop up peppers and I put it in the fridge,
Yeah.
they'll go and they'll open the Tupperware and they'll eat the peppers out of there.
Wow.
So just making that small effort
Yeah.
actually gets those
Amazing.
nutrients into their bodies.
Cool. And then next, avoid the sugary drinks and convenience foods. I mean, we all know this. You know, Coke is not great for us at all.
Sure.
But yeah, this is just something that requires us to just think again before we reflex,
Yes.
drink those things.
Yeah, because it's actually a waste of calories.
It's a total waste of calories.
It's huge in calories.
Yeah, I mean, they even say even fruit juices, right? You could be eating that fruit,
Exactly.
which leads to you being more full,
Yes.
which leads to more fiber.
Right.
But now
right.
you're drinking the juice,
Yeah.
the fruit juice, but you don't feel as full.
Yeah.
You'd probably drink more, right, which means more sugar. So it's kind of like those little
Yeah.
differences.
And that's where reading the labels is also important,
That's where
because you
reading the
think, oh, it's a
labels
fruit
is.
juice, but it's filled with chemicals and
Absolutely.
things you don't even know what that is.
It's not actually even fruit
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah. So reading those labels are important.
Very important.
Yeah.
Next, focus on fish.
Okay.
So fish is known to be a great source of omega-3 fatty acids. That's something that's known to be good for our cognitive impairment, cognitive function, memory, and just a good lean protein.
Right.
That's good for overall health and weight management.
Brilliant.
So focus on fish.
Okay. Does that mean less red meat?
That means less red meat. Actually, another tip that I might just add while we're there, try to do at least 1 or 2 meat-free days a week.
1 or 2 meat-free days a week?
1 or 2 meat-free days
I believe
a week.
lentils are really good.
Lentils,
Full of
grains,
protein.
Absolutely amazing.
And
Chickpeas.
you can even put some beef stock in it to make them taste like meat. No,
You know
maybe?
what? You start to get creative.
You get very creative with your recipes. Yeah.
So, 1 or 2. Start with 1 and see how it goes.
Okay, that's good.
Meat-free.
Okay.
Yeah. Then emphasize healthy living from a young age. I think we've spoken about this one. It starts from the day they are out of that womb,
Sure.
with breastfeeding. We call it the window period, the first 1,000 days of life.
Okay.
That's a critical part
Right.
in terms of development, their nutrition, instilling habits, all of that. Very critical period.
Affecting their palate.
Affecting their palate. Those first 1,000 days of life are where we
Brilliant.
need to be honing in.
Okay.
So we need to start from a very young age and model it, model it so that it's not just instruction, but it's
Yes, it's lifestyle.
lifestyle.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. And then lastly, don't forget your water.
Water. Water.
I mean, like I said, we all know this, but listen, our bodies are actually 60% water, more than half. So we actually need to be really intentional about this one, because we lose water in a lot of ways. Like, we're losing water talking right now.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
losing water going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
We're losing water walking around,
Yeah.
sweating.
Durban, we lose a lot
Like,
through perspiration.
Yeah, perspiration. So we need to be very intentional about replacing that so that we're constantly energized. And even when we think we're hungry, we're actually thirsty.
Sure. Yeah.
So
have a glass of water before you
before you
go and eat.
Yeah, I actually used to do this thing when I was very diligent. I used to drink 2 glasses of water before a meal
Wow.
and 2 glasses of water after a meal.
Okay.
So I'd find that actually a lot of the hunger is curbed by the 2 glasses of water.
Yes.
And then I'd feel very nice and full. And then the 2 after the meal would be just to make sure I'm getting in my number
Your number of glasses.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, I'm sure you have found that very helpful. Thank you for your time and your expertise.
Such a pleasure.
And guys, if you have any other questions, or if you want Dr. Danao to spend some time with you and chat through your household and your food choices and all that we've spoken about, she's a wealth of knowledge, and she's got such a heart to help people make happy, healthy, hearty choices with nutrition.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Trish.
Cool. Awesome.
Awesome.